First order of business for the salary board is to approve the minutes of the September 9th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next order of business. Request from the Honorable Judge Ammerman, the Honorable Judge Cherry to approve bonus payments in the amount of $2,500 for full-time employees of the probation department, both union and non-union, and $500 for the part-time secretary in cost and fines. No bonus payments will be made to new probation officers hired after August 1st, 2025. Bonus to be paid in two increments, 50% on the payroll following approval and 50% on the second payroll of December. Bonuses to be paid from the Probation Supervision Fund, noting that these are court-related funds and do not come from the general fund. Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion for the same. I would also note that the amount of the bonuses is the amount that a couple of years ago the salary board approved for children and youth employees. Also, of course, the reason that you indicated after, I think you said April 1st, but the two new employees are receiving hiring bonuses which had previously been approved. And again, it's very important to note that the funds come from the supervision fund, which is not.
Okay, and let that be noted that it is August 1st. If I said April 1st, I misspoke. It is August 1st.
Either way, the employees that receive a hiring bonus in the same year are not eligible for a retention bonus. So I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
And motion carries. Next item of business.
Okay, I think that completes our business,
Okay.
and we're gonna get out of your way, and we're gonna open up a few chairs for some other people.
The original dine and dash here from the,
Thank you very
from the
much.
courts. Thank you, Your Honor. We'll allow for the shuffle here. And our next order of business before the salary board. We have a request from the commissioners to set the salary for the new tourism director at $75,000 per year, effective October 20, 2025. And do I have a motion as such?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Anything else to come before the salary board today, gentlemen?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Salary board is adjourned at 10:33. We will now move on to our regular Board of Commissioners meeting. Calling it to order, we will dispense with the Pledge of the Allegiance as we just did that with salary board. First item of business, approve the minutes of the previous meeting, September 23, 2025.
So I will move that we approve those same minutes.
Second? Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
And now for the part that we look forward to, turn it over to Controller Edwards for the approval of the bills.
Alrighty, we have about 3 weeks worth of stuff here. So general fund, $8,693,881.09. Hazmat, $58,103.68. 911, $1,010,291.27. And I will note that that is reimbursing the county for 911's payroll. Record improvements, $8,000. Domestic relations, $2,860.53. And CYS, $735,105.04. For a grand total of $10,508,241.61.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Give us just a moment while we sign here. Thank you, Controller Edwards.
Thank you.
Next, we will move on to personnel issues. There are several today. Personnel changes for the Commissioner's approval. New hires. Law clerk, public defender, effective 10/3/2025. Part-time corrections officer, effective 10/6/25. District Justice Secretary, Magistrate Morris, effective 10/13/25. And Director of Tourism, effective 10/20/25. Motion to approve the new hires.
I'll make a motion that we approve the new hires as presented.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Transfers. We have 8. I'm going to separate one of these. We will do the first 7. Part-time Deputy Sheriff's Department to full-time Deputy Sheriff's Department, effective 9/29/2025. Part-time CO the jail to temporary full-time CO at the jail, effective 10/8/2025. Part-time CO at the jail to full-time CO at the jail, effective 10/8/2025. Again, part-time CO at the jail to temporary full-time CO, effective 10/9/2025. Part-time CO to full-time CO, effective 10/15. Part-time CO to full-time CO, effective 10/17. Part-time CO to full-time CO, effective 10/17. A motion to approve those transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
And one last, we have a caseworker, CYS to casework supervisor at CYS. I'm going to ask for a motion on this. I am going to abstain from this vote.
I'll move.
And I will second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. And just a couple more items here. Separations and retirements. Part-time security guard commissioners, effective 8/29/2025. Part-time corrections officer at the jail, effective 10/3/2025. And one FMLA leave, effective 10/10/25 for up to 12 weeks. Motion to approve the rest of the actions of personnel.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we will move on to public comment. We ask everyone participating in public comment to please use proper decorum. You will be given 3 minutes for your comment, and we do not want to be the Johnstown City Council, folks. So, please identify yourselves if you would like to speak in public comment. If you'd like to go first.
Sure. I'm Bobby Erickson. First, I want to sincerely thank Commissioner Dave Glass for his courage and commitment to both the Constitution and basic human rights. It takes integrity to stand up and say no when powerful interests want you to say yes. But courage also means calling harm what it is, and GEO Group's record is indefensible. GEO has been sued repeatedly for human rights abuses, medical neglect, forced labor, and even deaths in its facilities. Commissioner Glass, thank you for your vote. Now I urge you to use your voice to name this truth publicly. Your leadership carries weight, and people need to hear it. Commissioner Winter says he's happy with GEO and that he's visited the facility. But let's be honest, GEO had a week's notice before that visit. You can't learn the truth about conditions in a prison when it's been staged for inspection. That wasn't transparency, that was political theater. And let's remember, Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon and Congresswoman Summer Lee were denied that same opportunity to provide oversight. If everything inside that facility is as good as GEO says, then what are they hiding from our elected officials? Clearfield County should not profit from human suffering, and GEO Group has made millions in taxpayer dollars detaining people whose only crime is seeking a better life. Commissioner Sobel, Commissioner Winters, this is your moment to show courage. To prove that Clearfield County's values are not for sale, I'm asking you to join Commissioner Glass and vote no on renewing this contract. History will remember who stood up for justice, who stayed silent, and who stood with the Constitution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Ready?
You could identify yourself,
Yes,
please?
good morning. My name is James Hartsock. I'm a resident of Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania, and I thank you for your time. I would like to read as much as I can of a report that comes out of the Shannon Valley Processing Center, and I implore you, as good neighbors, to consider what will be allowed to take place in our community. Jose Francisco Velasquez views himself as a rule follower. He was a police officer in his native Venezuela, where he joined an opposition political party to demand reforms in his corrupt country. When government-aligned paramilitary groups kidnapped others in his circle, he feared for his life. He fled his home and traveled here to reach the Texas-Mexico border in July 2022. Upon arrival, he requested asylum, trusting in the legal process that allows people like him with a credible threat of political persecution to live in the United States. That process has been upended this year with Donald Trump's push to deport a number of people, a record number of people, excuse me. So when Velasquez was scheduled for a routine check-in with ICE agents, his friends and family told him not to go. But he said, "I'm a good person and I will go." He was detained, placed in handcuffs, and brought to Mill Valley Detention Center. With a capacity for nearly 1,900 prisoners, it's the largest detention center in the Northeast. Most people that ICE picks up come through the detention center. Since August 1st, Velasquez has lived at the center in the space of a basketball court, sharing 3 toilets and 6 showers with 75 men. Like Velasquez, most of those people are not criminals and have not received due process. It's the first time that Velasquez had been detained, ever. He told reporters during an interview. Velasquez is one of more than a dozen detainees and immigrant attorneys, Velasquez is one of more than a dozen detainees and immigration attorneys who have told reporters that life is increasingly crowded and unsafe in the facility. The facility is marked by uncertainty, violence, and desperation. Allegations of inhumane conditions, their long predate Trump, but the facility's population has reached all-time highs. At the same time, his administration has effectively eliminated outside oversight. DHS has dismantled its watchdog, and which had opened an investigation into Michigan under Joe Biden. That investigation was shut down under Trump.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
comments. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to any old business, gentlemen. Nothing on the agenda. Seeing none, we will move on to new business, which our first order of business is to proclaim October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we have Tatiana Barbanova. She has a statement, and then I will read the proclamation into the record. Would you like me to read the proclamation in first, or?
I have my own speech, so I can do this afterwards.
Okay, I will do the proclamation, and then we will have you do your speech. Proclamation, October Domestic Violence Awareness Month 2025. Whereas, domestic violence is a pattern of abusive behavior used by one person to gain or maintain power and control over another in an intimate or family relationship. It can happen to anyone, regardless of age, gender, race, or background, and it often escalates over time. Whereas, domestic violence is a serious public health and safety issue that affects nearly 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men across all communities, regardless of age, race, gender, or socioeconomic status. Whereas, the devastating consequences of domestic violence can cross generations and impact the physical, emotional, and financial well-being of survivors and their families. Whereas, we recognize the importance of creating safe environments in homes, workplaces, schools, neighborhoods, and a fostering of culture that does not tolerate abuse in any form. Although great progress in bringing awareness to and providing protections against domestic violence has been made, much work remains. Whereas, the Domestic Violence Awareness Month theme is "With Survivors Always." This is a powerful call to action for all to stand in solidarity with survivors, advocating for their safety, support, and healing, with emphasis on unwavering support for survivors, not just during October, but every day in every space. Now therefore, be it proclaimed on this 14th day of October 2025 by the Clearfield County Commissioners that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Clearfield County. And on this day, we reaffirm our steadfast and unwavering commitment to help stop domestic violence and work tirelessly to provide survivors the shelter, safety, systems, and support to live a hopeful and healthy normal life. Do I have a motion to adopt this proclamation?
Absolutely.
And I will second it.
And thank you for presenting this. All in favor? A
Aye.
wholehearted aye from all of us. And if you would like to, take the floor?
Everyone.
Would
My
you like
name
to
is-
use the podium?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tatiana. I'm speaking today on behalf of our domestic violence program. First, I want to thank you for taking the time to recognize domestic violence awareness. Your attention to this issue truly matters. Our program provides critical services, including emergency shelter, emergency PFA, legal counseling, support through the court system, transportation, safety plan, relocation money, and more. In the last fiscal year alone, we provided emergency shelter to 13 individuals, including 3 minor children. We also supported 215 survivors in receiving temporary protection from abuse order, and 125 of those were granted final PFA order. And these are only the reported cases. We know that many more go unreported. Compared to the previous fiscal year, the demand for our services has clearly increased. Every day we see the impact domestic violence has on individuals and families in our community. And every day we do everything we can to meet that need, but our resources are stretched thin. The current state budget impasse is negatively affecting Crossroads. We had laid off 2 full staff members. And now only 5 staff members we have to cover both Clearfield and Jefferson County. We continue to offer crucial services to domestic violence survivors despite current state of the budget. So therefore, we appreciate you to have us here, and we appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to get a picture?
Yes.
Let's have,
And I have
since we
My
have
co-worker.
Tatiana, why don't you sit? We'll stand behind. Since there's one of you, we want to get you. Take the proclamation. Where'd she go with it?
She just went to copy it.
Okay.
Do you want me to have a photo for you?
If you ladies want to sit, we'll stand behind you. We'll have the proclamation back here in just a second. Scoot you forward just a little.
Thank you.
Are you
Got it?
waiting for the proclamation, or are you good? Oh,
We're gonna have a
Yeah.
proclamation in front of. Slide Dave's papers a little to the left. Make a better picture.
Oh, wait,
One more,
Wait,
got one.
Jeff needs his.
Yeah. Do a couple of them.
And thank you, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate what you do.
Okay, now we have, moving on to item 2, we have some fun stuff today. We're gonna open bids for food service at the Clearfield County Jail facility.
You wanna do this?
I don't know, if you give me a dull knife there.
Where's your
Would you
dollar?
like mine?
That's
No.
and such. Well, we used it to open some boxes yesterday with elections.
You pry that one open, so we have it ready. Keeping with the,
Do I take it we got 2?
We have
Only
2.
2.
keeping with the no weapons policy here.
Would you like me to get it for you? I'm almost done with mine.
I got it.
There we go.
Commissioners, 1 box 0.
Yeah.
This might go at the start of the video.
Tell the women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys realize we're on candid camera.
I know, you know.
Just to. The women are more used to opening Amazon boxes.
Okay, we'll begin with this one. This is from Trinity Services Group,
I think they're our current provider.
is indeed our current provider. I hope we didn't pay extra for this. Original to the solicitor. What page are you finding the price on?
I'm just looking through to.
Table of contents. Executives. $157.
I love how they bury the lead, right?
It looks like they have a sliding scale based on population,
What page did you find that on?
160.
160.
to one- And then it kind of carries over to 161.
Okay, pricing scale is a sliding. Let's see if we can get a direct comparison on this.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that one. Sorry.
Yeah, sure you are. Starting to look more like Johnstown City Council every minute here.
I was just gonna say, I know where that box is gonna end up, don't I?
Now, Mike. And this is from Summit Correctional Services, is our second bid.
Looks like 113.
I like construction's better, they put the price,
So they have $2.32, and then there's an option for enhanced menu that would be $2.60.
Now, this is not contingent, okay. Reserve the right to renegotiate pricing if meals served drops below 145.
And 145 range on Trinity
145,
is $2.47 or $2.64 based on the two menus. So,
what's Trinity's, I'm just curious, what's their next level of, like, if we do drop below 145, which is not completely unheard of,
$2.76.
276?
276.
And then what is that range?
That's 135 to 144.
So these are really tight ranges, because I mean,
yeah.
we've
and-
seen it go 20 or 30 up and down in
Now,
fairly
The
short
most
order.
expensive is 95 to 104, and that's $3.55.
We haven't seen those numbers in a long time.
1978.
And then the alternative menu is $3.27. But both of these need to be reviewed and looked at by
Right,
the
yeah, I know
jail,
we're
because
not
part of
taking
it
action,
too
I'm
also
just trying-
involves equipment, and different equipment proposals that are in there.
So there's a
But
lot of
both-
moving pieces.
Okay,
Yes.
we will take these two proposals and review them. They are not a direct apples to apples comparison. There are also other things, equipment requirements, staffing requirements. These are the two proposals we have received. We will review these both through legal and the jail staff.
Were there 2 copies each?
2 copies
There are
of
2
each,
copies each.
and both were timely.
At this point, we will take no action until we have completed our review.
We need to move.
Well, I think this, well, all this
It
says
was
is
just
open.
open,
No,
yeah.
it was just,
So-
it was just to
Just
open, it was just to open, it was not to accept.
Okay.
will be reviewed and then a recommendation or to rebid, depending on what's
Okay.
in there.
Now, move on to item 3, or consider an agreement with Regroup for mass notification, and Dave McClure will explain this. This is just a, I believe, a change in service providers for our
Yeah. the
EMA
county
mass notification.
Currently uses Code Red, which we've had no problem with, just to say that. Regroup is cheaper, we can do a little bit more with it, it's a little faster. We also had a different company that did text alert paging for us for fire, EMS, and police. If they had a call, it would send a text message out to their phone. That system no longer works. The three that we looked at were $40,000. With Regroup, they include the text paging of 350,000 free messages, so that we can set that up. And that way, the fire departments and EMS services won't have to buy their own stuff. To
Okay.
get alerts like that, it will be through this. This is for a 1-year agreement for $8,500. They do offer a 3-year deal that you save like $6,000. However, I just wanted to be a little cautious and go with one to see how it works. Code Red is paid for through May 31st of '26. So Regroup will not bill us until then. We'll still use Code Red while they're pulling the information over, and we have our training with them, and everything's ready to go.
And just so everyone, this is for the mass text alert system throughout the county.
Yep, and the mass notification that you can sign up for, that we use Code Red for now.
Okay, and this
There won't
will,
be no downtime. We'll have Code Red until this lies over.
and this will reestablish the text to fire services that had, okay,
Correct.
thank you.
And this will eventually require citizens to download this other app.
Yes.
So we'll just need, next spring, we'll need to make sure we get that word
Yeah, and
out.
as soon as
Not
we're
yet.
ready and everything with it and have all the.
Okay,
training,
and we'll do
I'll
a-
come to you guys, and then we'll put the thing out.
We'll do a much bigger presentation at that time.
Yes.
Heather, you reviewed it?
I did have an opportunity to review, and as stated, this is just a 1-year agreement. There's no automatic renewal language. They will come with a proposal for any renewal at an agreed-upon price. Certainly at that point, if it's been successful, we can consider a longer-term agreement. So it is a 1-year without any type of automatic renewal. All the other language was standard
Okay,
in there.
thank you, and that does have the added benefit of getting the fire notifications back into the system. Do I have a motion to accept this agreement?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye. And I know you're probably gonna head out,
I
right?
have to see Heather afterwards.
Oh, then never mind, we'll talk about it at the end.
Okay, now, we will consider ordinance 2025-1, establishing a county demolition and rehabilitation fund. This is what was explained by Lisa Kovalik at a previous meeting. And
I think this is a really good idea.
this will be based off tax sale properties
And mortgage
And
foreclosure.
and mortgage foreclosures. There will be a small fee assessed. This will go into a rehabilitation demolition fund to deal with blighted properties throughout the county, to be administered by the redevelopment agency.
Actually,
The commissioners
would read it.
oversee it.
Commissioners overseeing, but in the end will be the redevelopment agency.
So it is a $200 fee that is set forth in the ordinance, and is stated, the commissioners do have the discretion, and it can be used, municipalities, school districts, there's a lot of uses for those funds. It is on a competitive basis. The ordinance itself has been advertised, and is ready for your consideration.
If it meets legal review, do we have a motion to consider ordinance 2025-1?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
I think that as Lisa presented this will be a good program and a useful tool for rehabbing and, in some cases, demolishing some properties. Next, consider request from Penn Highlands for Clearfield County to serve as a grantee for an LSA grant to be used to purchase surgical operating booms. The technical details of this, I do not know. I do understand the LSA grant, they need a municipality to act as their grant
And my
recipient.
understanding is that we are strictly a pass-through, there's no requirements on us for any maintenance or
No,
administration.
this is strictly an administrative pass-through to make them eligible for the LSA grant.
Yeah, the booms they're talking about are, I believe they're attached to the ceiling in the operating room. They provide lighting, they provide screens, so if you want to watch vital signs, if you're using a camera, if you're performing surgery, you can see what the surgeon is seeing. And as I understand, one of the big advantages is you don't have cords all over the place where personnel can trip over or kick and pull out of us, out of the wall socket.
And I would like to thank Commissioner Sobel. He had taken the lead on this and talked to the people from Penn Highlands, as we would just be acting as a pass-through. Any legal issue?
Not at this point. We've done it before. We've applied on behalf of different entities as far as an LSA goes, just recently over for the Fairgrounds project. It will involve us at some point getting together a resolution. I think at this point, this is just preliminary to let them know that we're willing to do that, and then we'll coordinate those efforts.
Yeah, and Commissioner Glass is correct. I wanted to make sure we didn't have any personnel having to do a bunch of extra work, and I was assured that that will not be the case.
Okay, do I have a motion to act as the grantee for the LSA grant for Penn Highlands?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, item 6, consider agreements with Du Bois and Clearfield school districts for the school-based probation programs. I will defer over to Counselor Bozovich. I'm assuming this is just a continuation of current agreements?
Yes, absolutely. We've done these for several years with both schools. The probation department appreciates it. The schools have done it. We haven't had any issues, and those agreements are the same as they are in prior years.
Do I have a motion to enter into those agreements with the Clearfield and Du Bois school districts for school-based probation?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, item 7, consider authorizing addendum to the land bank ordinance.
If you recall, in 2024, we, with the assistance of Lisa Kovalik and the Redevelopment Authority, we had discussed a land bank ordinance for Clearfield County. As part of the land bank ordinance, there has to be a physical registered address. Since the Redevelopment Authority is our land bank, at the time they were housed in this building, although recently they moved. So what I would ask for is to authorize the necessary paperwork to addend that ordinance to reflect their new address.
Makes all the sense in the world.
Okay.
Also move.
Yes, this is just procedural, moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, and there are many words here. We're going to consider purchase of service agreements in the following list. Children's Service Center of Wyoming Valley Incorporated, Adelphoi Village Incorporated, Valier and Counseling Associates, comma, Lifespan Family Services of PA, Pathways Adolescent Center, Inc., The Summit School, Inc., CAI Professional Consultancy Services. Understand these are all CYS-based service agreements for outside providers, unless we want to go into a detail of, these are standard renewals. Are any of these new?
One is new. I was gonna say, the Children's Service Center of Wyoming Valley is a new provider that had gone into effect through our last one. And then as with the past meetings, a lot of these are just the updates for our fiscal years. By the time they get them back to us, they're kind of trickling in. So we're just about most of our providers in at this point. So hopefully this is
So nothing
the
out of
last
the
round.
ordinary
Nothing out of
here.
the ordinary and no major changes to any of the agreements.
A motion to enter into those purchase of service agreements that I will not read through the list again.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we have anything, that ends our new business, do we have anything from the solicitor today?
Just as an update, I believe the press is aware that several months ago, we had entered into an agreement to purchase property located at 318 East Locust Street. Everything has been finalized for that purchase, and it will be official tomorrow. So just a brief update. I know it was discussed that as potentially a site for the magistrate office. There's no changes, nothing to note at this point, other than just the transaction itself will be
And
finalized.
thank you for your diligence in that matter. Do you want to we are going to have an election board meeting after this. Do you want to give a little bit of an election update as part of our commissioners
Now,
meeting?
we'll wait for that.
I do, while we still have press and people watching, I do want to mention October 20th is the deadline to register for the November general election. Those of you who would like to stick around, we will be having an election board meeting immediately following this. And I cannot leave things go without our, what has become regular budgetary message, that once again, we have no Pennsylvania state budget. We also now we have reached the joyous point where we don't have a federal budget. So we are the last functioning form of government at this point. And we implore those at the state level. This is going to reach critical mass. It has for many counties, many municipalities, many school districts. Gotta lay blame where it goes, and that's gonna be on the House leadership. Seems to be the problem in Harrisburg. And really need to get this taken care of because it is starting to hurt people throughout the entire Commonwealth. Anyone?
I'll just add, you know, I'm glad Tatiana was here to talk about this, because obviously I know her, and she's been saying that, you know, they're, at Crossroads, the budget's been affecting them for a month plus. And you wanna talk about hitting where it hurts, they cannot help victims of domestic violence to their full capacity when they have to lay people off. They've lost some legal, some of their legal budget. I mean, that's ridiculous.
And absolutely, and don't be confused, the budget is hurting Clearfield County. We are using our reserves, which should be for our problems, and we are using our reserves at a cost to us for the state's problems.
Well,
So,
and I'm gonna pick on Dave McClure a little bit about this, because he came to me yesterday. We have our budget hearings next week, and he said, how do you want me to do this budget? Because the 911 reauthorization is still sitting out there. Do you want with the proposed numbers or the current numbers? I said, let's go with the current numbers, because Lord only knows what they're gonna do. And that's the sort of bind we're put in. We're trying to do a budget for fiscal year '26. We have no idea what the state's doing. And they're still talking about changing mental health funding, so it's a mess. And every county right now is starting to ramp up for this, and they're flying blind. It's unacceptable.
so, I'd say contact your local legislators, but, they're not in charge. So, not much good contacting them because they're basically locked out of the process. Anyhow, that is what has become all too common of our budget statement to finish at the meeting. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
Only, and I'm sure there are questions out there about the burn ban, and Dave McClure talked to forestry, I talked to forestry at conservation last week. Yes, we got rain the other day, but it was variable throughout the county. Some areas got quite a bit, I know you got quite a bit. Some areas didn't even get a quarter inch, and forestry is saying that we should just let it expire next week, not to take any action with leaves falling. There's still gonna be a lot of dry, fuel out there, so.
And I believe, we did enact for 30 days,
Right.
will expire on its own
The
next
22nd.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we will leave that as such.
That's, we've been watching it. So. all
Okay.
right.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Can I
Go
get
on.
an update on something I completely forgot? It's just from previous, that Verizon's putting on our Coalport Tower down there.
Yes, of course.
It's almost done.
Oh, good.
Okay.
It's back on schedule. So far, they're not getting hold up, and the projected date for them to finish construction is the 30th of this month.
Okay, please keep us in the loop. That project has kind of drug on a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. Gentlemen, anything else? Do I have a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned
Now we're
at
into.
11:08.